Having said that, Honorable Speaker, let me start by saying that I have already apologized for the erroneous reporting that was done at that very early stages when this kind of crime was realized. And number two, that has since been rectified because we have even seen the outcomes of the autopsy that was done yesterday. In terms of compensation, my CS has actually discussed on what the way forward in terms of getting in touch with the family and assisting where we can be able, and we support that cause completely. The status of the deceased when he was brought in to Central Police Station was normal. That information, the status of the deceased when he was brought in to the Central Police Station at that 23 hours, the status was normal. The number of hours that was spent while driving from Homa Bay, that was Maweni Police Station to Central Police Station, that was roughly 5 hours, 15 minutes because the team left Maweni Police Station at around 16:00 hours and arrived in Nairobi at around 21:17 hours, roughly 5 hours and some minutes from Homa Bay to Nairobi. There is that question of why not invite the suspect to come to record statements at the nearest police station. The DCI is going to deal with that one, Honorable Speaker. This question of why the OCS had to be consulted before the suspect was placed in the cells, again, the DCI is going to answer for it very, very, very clearly, Honorable Speaker. There was also the question why the late Albert Ojwang had an opportunity was given an opportunity to call the spouse. When I was here previously answering the other questions, I did indicate that the police officers are well trained on how to treat suspects and other Kenyans alike. It is on that basis that he was given that opportunity to check on his family and even report that he has safely arrived in Nairobi. And I also indicated that police officers are always on the forefront in the defense of the rights and freedom of the people. That is our training. That is my training. So it is on that basis that he was actually given that opportunity.
Two minutes to go.
Now, in terms of processing persons of interest, the question is whether the numbers, the persons of interest have actually been exhausted. I think that one will be effectively answered by IPOA, who are actually investigating on the same Honorable Speaker. There was also the question as to whether DIG Rangat could be paraded before the House to hear his side of story. I think, again, Honorable Speaker, that's a decision that, again, this House can consider. Whether there are different sets of laws for different sets of people or groups. Our laws are for everybody, and nobody is above the law. And the DIG was explained by the DCI. He did launch his complaint in writing to the DCI. And the DCI, in his wisdom, had a team to look into that complaint. And that is basically, as he explained, how that investigations commenced. There was also the question of who is the DCI officer who booked Albert in the cells. The names are also there with the IPOA, and I believe the IPOA is going to provide for that.
So, IG, you are referring quite a number of things to DCI and IPOA.
Yes.
Kindly allow DCI to take the stand.
Thank you, DCI.
And DCI, I'll give you 8 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, one was, what is my message to the family? The message simply is that we will play any legal role to have justice for the family and confidence by the public towards the police. And we shall go out of our way to make sure that we accord all the support and cooperation to the investigations currently underway, currently being undertaken by IPOA. Senator Odinga, whether there are different laws, I would like to confirm, Honorable Speaker, that we don't have different set of laws. The laws apply equally as enacted by our Parliament. And the law says any person. So we are not selective as officers of the National Police Service in the application of the laws. Suffice to say, however, that the perception of defamation is relative and may be construed differently by different people. Why the officers gave a chance to the suspect, the IG has very well explained that. It is part of the reform process, and it is normal for us to grant the suspect telephone facility, so that, and that was actually a request made by the suspect, so that he could contact his wife and family members. And it's also a clear testimony of our adherence to the Constitution, the fundamental freedoms, and the Bill of Rights. Senator Manzo alluded to the possibility of the deceased having been injured by the DCI officers who effected the arrest. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I may not wish to dwell on this matter. In my earlier presentation, I was able to give a chronology and the graphic details of the movement of the suspect all the way from Homa Bay up to Central Police Station. And I'm sure these are issues the Independent Police Oversight Authority will investigate to its logical conclusion. Like I said, if any DCI officer is found to be involved in the killing, then, Honorable Speaker, let the law take its course. We are not covering up for anybody. In terms of the DCI officer who booked Albert Ojwang, the booking was not done by a DCI officer, Honorable Speaker. Like I had said in my previous submission, the booking was done digitally by a report office personnel. And I'm sure the particular officer, the identity of that particular officer will be established in the investigations. Why not summon? Honorable Speaker, when it comes to investigations, particularly on matters of computer and cyber crimes, it isn't a walk in the park. You are starting your investigations from the unknown to the unknown. You are dealing with persons operating from dark webs, persons running pseudo accounts, persons whose accounts are domiciled in other jurisdictions. At the commencement of our investigations, Honorable Speaker, we did not know the true identity of Albert Ojwang. We were only dealing with an ex-handle, a person whose identity was not known to us, and it was therefore not possible for us to summon him. It took a lot of efforts, a lot of expertise for us to unveil the identity of the owner of that ex-handle. And that's why it was not possible for us to summon the late Albert Ojwang up to the point where the officers went and arrested him. Sometimes again, and this applies to it's a general investigative technique, Honorable Speaker, some summons might be prejudicial or even interfere with our investigative processes. Like you are investigating a cybercrime and you want to recover a computer from a suspect. You cannot just summon that suspect to come and report to the police station. What is the risk? You have the risk of that suspect deleting the information that you require to use as evidence in court. So that's why sometimes we may not opt to summon suspects, but to go for them. Somebody has material exhibits, documents that you believe are crucial to your investigations. You cannot just summon him. Summon him will give him ample time to destroy and interfere with those exhibits, Honorable Speaker. In terms of who issued the orders to have Albert Ojwang ferried from Homa Bay to Nairobi, Honorable Speaker, we don't micromanage our investigation processes. We give the officers the leeway to make decisions. We have professional officers who are well guided by the service standing orders, officers who are well guided by our guide to the criminal investigations. For example, Honorable Speaker, if a car is stolen in Lodwar and the suspect is arrested in Homa Bay, the court that has competent jurisdiction is that court which is domiciled in Lodwar. So it will be futile for an investigating officer to come and ask his commander whether he will take the suspect to Lodwar or he will be prosecuted in Homa Bay for that matter. So those are very simple operational and tactical matters that we leave the officers for the officers to make their determinations as guided by the service standing orders. Harming House from Homa Bay, the Inspector General has has explained that. And there was
This year you have 1 minute to conclude.
1 minute to conclude, Honorable Speaker. I would like to reiterate the fact that DIG Langat has no command over IPOA. His command is limited to Kenya Police Service. I am urging this August House that the general mood in the country should not be used to victimize DIG Lagat. Let us wait for the investigations to establish the circumstances under which Albert Ojwang met his death. Thank you, and I submit, Honorable Speaker.
IPOA. IPOA, you may take the stand.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to, first of all, answer a concern that has been raised on my chair. And I spoke to him during the break. We got the notice of this particular sitting yesterday when he was already out of the country. But as we speak, he's finding his way into Kenya. He's coming back because we have a similar sitting tomorrow with the Parliamentary Committee. And together with me, Speaker, today are 3 commissioners and the CEO of the authority. So we are taking this matter with the seriousness that it deserves. And one of the commissioners present today, Honorable Jacqueline Lucalo, attended the autopsy process on our behalf. So, Honorable Speaker, I had questions that were asked. One of them was the clarity from Senator Siege, Senator Murago, and Senator Mandago. Our preliminary findings show that the young man, Ojwang, was alone in the cell, and the neighboring cell where we have had 2 witnesses, one has recorded a statement, they have said they had loud screams from that particular cell. But unfortunately, Honorable Speaker, the cells are not numbered. So we are also giving a recommendation for the cells to be numbered so that a cell is allocated vis-a-vis a person in the OB. The next concern was by Senator Wambua on the safety. I hope I got the name right. On the safety of our investigators and our officers. Honorable Speaker, our investigators especially are not safe, going by the fact that they're investigating armed police officers. But in the same light, in the security service laws, which are headed by the CS Interior, we are seeking for licensing to carry firearms. We were recently in South Africa, and our counterpart, IPOA, the body that a lot was borrowed to the formation of IPOA, they have licenses to carry firearms, and in the same light also the right to arrest, the powers to arrest, and also the powers to prosecute. So that is something we are pursuing through the legal reforms in the security services laws. There was also a question on Senator Hezena on tampering of the CCTV. And as I'd said, we have engaged experts on the retrieval of the same. And we have the DVR, that is like the motherboard of the CCTV with us. So that is what we will use to reconstruct the evidence if we are able